Welcome back, everybody, to the Grandparents Podcast.
Grandparents podcast, yeah.
Grandparents, a podcast. We're
The
back, baby.
Grandparents podcast,
The Grandparents.
We here.
We Grandparents. Yeah, my throat still hurts, so if I'm coughing or anything like that, no, I'm not. I don't know what you're
Are
talking
you
about.
sure? I think he is. I think you're always coughing.
I'm 100% positive that I'm not. I'm sick, but I'm not, you know?
I see.
Mhm.
Like, I get you, I suppose.
Kano has fallen into this voice and will probably
What do you mean?
never come back from it.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the voice, you know. It's just it'll go away eventually when I get tired of it, which is
Yeah.
not really that common anyway. I could do it for hours, but we'll see. We'll see.
Anyway, how goes life, Kano? Because we did a little debrief, even though we saw each other literally an hour ago.
Yes, that's true. I mean, life's all right. I guess the long and short of it is, well, for one thing, which is very exciting as of the time of this recording, my sister is graduating from college this coming
Woo!
weekend, which is mega exciting. Very, very like proud of her, and it's just so cool. Like it's fun to get to see her go through this experience and kind of get to commemorate her achievement in doing school and learning. So I'm just very excited. I'm very proud of her, and I'm looking forward to celebrating her this weekend. And
Oh,
then in midst
yeah.
of that, I've short term wise been like just kind of been taking work, and, getting it all figured out as best I can. Though of course it never feels like there's enough hours in the day. Like even today, I'm just looking at my schedule. And I'm like, man, there's all these things I want to do. Will I have time to do them? Probably not, and it makes me sad. And it's like,
Literally.
it's just like, why? I don't want to do that. And so we'll have to see. Hopefully, I can push through and get things done and have some time for some fun things. But other than that, I'll be gone away. Well, yeah, I guess I'll cap it up more later, so I won't talk about it too much now. But there's a fun trip I get to take in the very near future that I'm
You're allowed to
very
talk
much
about it
looking forward
now.
to.
'Cause
Well,
they're
I
not
but I
gonna
feel like
know.
it's like fine. Okay, well, fine. Well, okay,
Talk about it
I'll
now.
say it now
Just
then.
spill the tea.
We'll say it again at the end of the podcast. But so I'm not going to be here for the next basically 2 Thursdays
Mhm.
because I'm going to be taking a trip to London with my dad, his wife, and then my sister as a celebration for her graduation. We got this as for my dad's wife as a gift. So we're going to London for about a week and a half.
Bougie.
Yeah, sort of bougie indeed. I'm like, I know, right? It's like, who gives trips as a gift?
Yeah.
So weird.
Where's my trip, sugar daddy?
Growing up, this is a tangent. I'll go into it. It's like growing up, like my family, we had enough money to get by, but like I never understood people who are like, "Oh yes, okay, here you are, darling. Here's your card for your 16th birthday." And then and my parents and and we're all over here being like, "Yeah, we, could barely afford getting a second car when like one of our cars broke down."
Mhm.
My dad took the train for a while because we only had one car because my mom needed it for work, and like all these things. So just like for me, it's just such a weird thing to think about. Like, oh yes, let's go on a trip to another country, pay for a stay there for a week and a half, and
Mhm.
and that for me is just so surreal. But again, just different lifestyles. It's not something I'm very much accustomed to. So this is going to be a very special trip, very once in a lifetime kind of thing.
How do
Definitely
you
not
do on
expecting to be able to do this
planes?
again.
How are
I
you on
mean, I've
planes?
only in the short plane rides I've had, they've not been too bad. But I need to remember to get some gum, some chewing gum while I'm at the airport so I
Yeah.
can have that because that was very helpful for me when I was taking my plane rides, just to help with the ear popping and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um,
It's smart to buy it at the airport too, because then your bank knows that you're going on a trip and they won't. Is this just wait? Is this just stuff I know? But like, this is a tip that I saw like a long time ago. It was like, oh, take your use your credit card or debit card at an airport because it'll say on your statement, like for me, it'd be Toronto Pearson Airport, and then your bank knows that you're going on a trip, that because you're at the airport, you're obviously flying somewhere. So your next purchase, if it's in a foreign country, they know not to flag it, and then stop your card,
oh,
and you don't have no access to any of your funds.
I was not aware of that. No, I just figured it's like if I buy the gum in
Mm.
the airport, I have to worry about trying to get it through security, and I can just be like, here, I get it. Here, same thing with like water. Because I have to make sure all my water bottles are empty prior to going on to the
Oh, you can get
plane and stuff
gum
like that.
through security. They only care about like, and that's the thing. Like, I had all that like open food that I brought over. Like, as long like they don't care about that. As long as it's small. Like, if you have like, I don't know, like the bag of chips that I had. Remember, like it was
Yeah.
just I had already tucked into them, but they were like, it was just a small bag. But because it was like I was bringing a carry on, it was like, okay, like that's they're bringing a snack. I don't know. It might be different. I've never had any problem bringing snacks on planes before. So it's just the water.
Yeah.
It's the liquids. They're like, no, you're not allowed too many liquids, which I don't understand
Granted, it's
why.
like, yeah. I mean, well, and I'm pretty sure you could still like you just can't bring it through. Once you're on the other side, it's like, oh yeah, get your water in the airport and then you're set to
Yeah,
go.
no.
You just
It's
can't
just
pass it through
so
security.
weird that like we can't like when you're bringing just a carry-on, they're like, yeah, all of your products have to be less than 75 milliliters or like 3 ounces or whatever
Yeah.
whatever the thing is, which is so stupid to me because it's like, why? I'm gonna bring like
Why?
I would bring like here, let me just bring my like 30 milliliter or not seven, no. Like, let me bring my liter sized water bottle and fill it up and bring it on the plane after security. But something that's in my bag, like like not hairspray, like lotion or something like that, why can't I have more than that? If it explodes in my bag, that's my own problem that I have to deal with. It's not the airport. And you let me bring bigger stuff on the airport or like in my like larger suitcase that goes under the plane. So like why do they do that? Why, like, I don't understand
Right.
why you can't have too many
Well,
liquids going through.
it's very vague in terms of that, but
Yeah.
either way, it's one of those things where like that's my plan. I just need to make sure I remember to get that because
Yes.
those definitely help me. Um, I also need to see the thing is because we're taking this trip and the last few trips I had, I always brought some sort of manga with me to read. And I know I
Mm-hmm.
can bring some with. The hard part is I digest it so fast. 'Cause I'm such a fast reader, and especially manga, where you're just like flip, 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 flip. It's like a comic basically with a
Yeah.
little more detail. So I've got plenty of books I can bring with me, but I also have to be aware of like how much space I have on like in my bags. Like, could I actually carry? I probably should only bring like one or two mangas at most. If I don't want to oversaturate my carry on. Um, and so it's just kind of like, okay, I need to figure that all out and probably
Yeah.
download some stuff to my phone and do whatever there because
I
otherwise it'll be
usually
a
listen
lot.
to books because like I mean I've never been on an overnight flight. So I haven't had the need to entertain myself for longer than 8 to 10 hours.
Mm.
Um so I would just listen to an audiobook, which depending on the length of the book is usually about like 12 to 20 hours. So like on like 5-hour flights, I can just listen to the book and then I should be able to finish the book. Like I'm almost done The Eyes of Nine because I started
Mm.
it on like when I went traveling recently.
Gotcha.
So I'm almost done it,
Yeah,
but
I've never really listened to audiobooks very much. I know I probably
you
should. I think
should.
but it's this level of like in my head, I'm like, okay, sometimes certain things can be really interesting. Like I can listen to some podcasts, it's fine. Others, I'm like, my brain has nothing to see. My visuals are not being challenged and like engaged enough, and so then I get bored. Um, but it's just,
Mm.
but I don't know. It's like different with music though, and it could just be like the length of content is different. But who knows? That is something to consider though, because yeah, and I forgot that I'm also going to be doing at least one of my flights will be an overnight flight. The one
Yeah.
back from London is going to be a during the day flight, so I'll need to make sure I am occupying myself because unless I want to take a
Mhm.
midday nap, I will be bored out of my mind. It's like I can't play Genshin on this plane for 4 hours. I'm gonna have to do something else.
That's very true.
So we'll have to see. I'll get creative somehow. I'll bring all these British books home with me. Be like, oh, look at this! I got this British book.
I've
It
got to
says
read
this.
this British book, yeah.
It's British, yeah. Um,
Oh my
so,
god.
but yeah, I've got things I'm looking forward to. I'm also anxious and nervous. I'm kind of like it's one of those things where like
Hmm.
I'm excited for the trip, but I'm also ready for it to be over already. Like just be
Oh
done.
wow.
I'm already ready for it to be home. Because I like being home. I don't like
You're
traveling very
like
much.
4 days away from your trip and you already want to go home?
I don't know. It's like even when I've gone on like vacations for like our trip we took recently was nice because it was a short trip. I knew I'd be coming home very soon afterward. I didn't have to worry about being out too long. But even like when I've taken like week trips out, like some parts of it I enjoy, and other parts I'm like, man, I'm really home. Like I'm gone from home right now. I don't like being gone from home that long.
Hmm.
Um, it's like for me, like a good 3 to 4 day trip max is beautiful. Anything above that starts to feel like, okay, I'm just ready to get going and get out of here and go back to my normal boring
Hmm.
routine. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll change my mind once we get there. Maybe I'll realize London's the place I'm meant to be and I'll not even come back home. Um, but
Mm.
I'm joking. I would actually because I need my stuff. Um, but you know,
Nah, buy it all new. Fine.
no, no, I wouldn't want to leave everyone anyway. Wouldn't be worth it. But anyways, that's been my life. So it's been lots of little things
Wow.
to kind of keep track of in the near future. How about you? How have you been outside of being deathly ill?
Oh, you know. Um, I went to my grandfather's this weekend to help him plant some flowers. So that was interesting in itself. A lot of
Aw.
physical labor. Sorry, Caramel's here and he's bugging me. So come lie down. There you go.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, like I don't know, just getting ready for I mean, I haven't streamed in like 2 weeks. So there's that.
Yeah.
Um I was
Can't
gonna
believe it.
stream last night, and I even told my mom. My mom was like, "Oh, do you want to? I'm making spaghetti tonight. Do you want to come over?" And my mom makes the best spaghetti sauce, and I know everyone says
Mm-hmm.
that about their mom, but she actually does.
Mm.
Um, so I was like, "Oh, I always love when she like makes extra spaghetti sauce because I can take it home, and then I can make it multiple times with just like a couple scoops or spoonfuls of it, and then
Mm.
I've got a dinner. I don't have to worry about it." And I was like, no, I have to stream tonight, blah, blah, blah. And then I didn't end up streaming because it came to 7 and I was just like doom scrolling on TikTok and then it hit 7:30 and I was like, I'm like, well, it's past the time that I was going to start. So
Oh.
it just ended up being that. But I was like really tired and like, I don't know. I didn't feel like I was going to have like the right kind of energy for stream. I'm hoping to stream on Friday, obviously. It would have passed by now if I so we'll see if I do.
Mm.
Um but yeah, I don't know. I've just been really tired lately. Like, I don't know. More so, but I don't know if that's just because I'm like losing energy from stressing
Mm.
and from being sick. Um because I don't know, if I can't talk about it, I'll cut it out. But like when Kano goes on this trip, I'm going to be filling in for him. And he does so much work. And I am, I don't know if I'm mentally prepared. I'm probably never going to be mentally prepared. And I'm just going to be thrown into it. And I'm just going to have to do it. So I'm kind of just like, I guess I'm like pre-stressing about that. Like, if you saw my schedule for next week and the way that I've like prepped it out, it's just a lot of green. And I don't know why
Mm.
I've given Aaron the color green, but he's just always green. Caramel, get the fuck out of here. You just hit my mic.
Eh.
um so yeah, I'm just kind of like stressing out and like I want to do a good job and I want to make sure that I can get everything done. Um and yeah, that's been me. I finished an edit recently. I've got to upload it and get a thumbnail done tonight.
Mm.
Um I've got a recording at 7 tonight.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I'm watching Demon Slayer with Lauren afterwards, and I'm really excited because her and I have not been able to watch anime in a long time because we were watching Spy Family and we watched through season 2. And then there was nothing else, but now Demon Slayer season 3 is out, and it's been out for a couple weeks, so we have some stuff that we can binge because usually we watch like 3 episodes at a time. But I don't know. I don't hang out with Lauren as much anymore because the roomies, shocker guys, cinematic content. The roomies recording aren't live anymore. I don't get to hang out with her. And then she's really busy with Seth all the time because they work all day and then they want to spend their evenings together. So then in the evenings she doesn't have time to like game and stuff. Which is fine. I don't want this to come across as like, boo Lauren. I miss her. And it's hard scheduling things with people when you're an adult, and yeah. That's that's about it. I'm excited for D&D tomorrow. Thursday. Cause spicy things are happening. A little plug if you guys aren't watching.
Things.
Kano and I are both in a D&D campaign called Titan's Edge, and you should go and watch it. It's on Twitch. I will put the link in the description. But Alexander, aka or Xylophony, aka Alexander, is the one who runs it. So, yeah, you have a bunch of cool people in it as well, other than us, because we're obviously the coolest people there.
Oh, yes, clearly.
Duh.
Clearly. Not even a question about it.
Yeah, no. Everyone just wants to romance our characters. It's fine. You're hot Geo Boy, and I'm hot Changeling. They, them.
Yes.
Yeah. So, there's that. But anyway, enough about us. We can get talking about I see you added something and I was like, wait, what? No, but we can talk about stuff going on. One of them is kind of sad. But it's like not because they're in okay spirits about it. Hank Green was diagnosed with cancer. If you don't know who Hank Green is, his brother is John Green, and he's an author, and he wrote Paper Towns, Looking for Alaska, The Fault in Our Stars, all those lovely books that have been turned into movie adaptations. He has cancer and he's going through chemo, and it's really like, I'm really sad that all these people are getting diagnosed with cancer and people are dying and shit. It's unfair. I don't like it.
People stop dying.
Stop it.
Making Mousie upset. I
am the most important. My feelings matter the most. Why are you making me upset?
It's great that we have this same level of thinking when we just said, hey, we're not talking about us anymore. We're talking about other people.
Yeah, we're talking about other people that are dying, that are making me sad. Okay?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Great.
No, but our hearts go out to him. I hope he does okay. I like him because he makes like really funny sciencey TikToks where he like explains why things, like people are like, why does this thing do this thing? And he'll be like, it does this thing because of this thing, which is really interesting. And I'm like, wow, he's so cool.
Wow.
So yeah, just wanted to give that is like one of the smaller topics that we have. The next one that I'm going to talk about is there's probably going to have a similar conversation to what we did when we talked about Harry Potter Legacies, but Max, formerly known as HBO Max, I don't know why they fucking changed it. It's so stupid. I don't have HBO Max. Our version of that is Crave. So I don't even have to worry about it because I'm gonna have to bootleg the series anyways if I want to watch it. But apparently they're making a Harry Potter series, and the thing that I'm upset about is that Stinky Turf is an executive producer, and I hate that.
Mm.
I don't like the fact that they're making a Harry Potter series. They've essentially been like, we're gonna make a decade-long television series that will be a faithful adaptation of the Harry Potter books instead
Mhm.
of what the movies were. But it's like, we already got the movies. Even if they weren't a faithful adaptation, why are you remaking it? You're just making regurgitated content at that point. Like,
Right.
give us better spin-offs, you know? Or like prequels and stuff. Like, I'm just gonna say it, and everybody else has been saying it. I would rather a Marauders movie or series or whatever.
Mm.
I want to know what they were doing in the first war. I don't give a fuck about the Harry Potter, Hermione Granger, and Ron Weasley again doing the same thing, but slightly different. Again,
Mm.
give me something new. Give me something that we've never taught, like that's fanon, and do that. And then don't put, because it's fanon,
Mhm.
don't put Stinky Turf on it. I hate her. I don't like her, and I don't like that. Like, anytime someone's like I love Harry Potter, and I love the Wizarding World. I think it's really cool. It's a cool piece of fantasy that I grew up on, but I don't like that she runs it and she's an executive producer, so she's going to be making more money. It's going to cause another uproar. Like, not a lot of people are talking about it right now, but I can guarantee you when the series comes out, they're going to be like, don't support it. It's like Harry Potter Legacy. We should boycott it. And it's like, we're going to go through the same thing again.
Yeah.
And I don't
Well,
understand.
I think that's part of the reason why it's because I, on the one hand, and this is my hot take, it's like if they're going to be redoing the original Harry Potter series, I do think it only makes sense for them to have J.K. Rowling on the team because it is her book series. Like the story she created is hers. Like that's for sure. Like Wizarding World in itself, because it's sort of an entity that was kind of developed by Warner Brothers, past beyond her a little bit. I can see there being
Mm-hmm.
some justification for like them be able to use that property and do what they want and for it to be separate. When it comes to like though Harry Potter and specifically those parts of the genre, I get why I think she should be involved. Um, at the same time, I fully agree with you that they there definitely seems to be no regard for people's criticisms of J.K. Rowling when it comes to actually like working with Harry Potter content. Because again, I mean, I love Harry Potter. We talked about this before again with Legacy. Like both you and I are people who
Mm-hmm.
were like, yeah, we would love to play this game, but we both chose not to for significant reasons because of the people we know in the communities that we care about. We
Yeah.
didn't want to sponsor the kind of rhetoric that J.K. Rowling tends to use, because the game automatically is going to carry some of that weight with it.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing here with this series, but it's hard when you look at it from a business perspective. And they talked about how it's like, yeah, even though all these vocal people said they boycotted Hogwarts Legacy, it still had fantastic sales, still had fantastic watch times on Twitch and other streaming platforms. Like people watched it and played it and engaged with it, and so like we're just channeling stuff in. Like they have no reason not to make another series like this because they know people will flock to see it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so I think it's one of those weird dualities where it's like, yeah, people say they don't like the things J.K. Rowling's doing, but at the same time, where they put their money and their time, it really feels like they don't care to make that sacrifice for that kind of thing. So
Yeah. And I will
yeah.
say that, like, apparently the game itself had a lot of, like, good trans and LGBT representation. But it's just the fact that, like, she continues to get money off of these things just because she was the author of the series, but, like, made the series with the intent of underlying transphobic and homophobic, like, themes.
Right.
And it just, like, it's like, bro, like, why you like this?
Yeah.
Why? Um, Something else that I recently saw on my Twitter page is that
Mhm.
people are in an uproar about is the potentiality or whatever the word is of whatever The Sims is doing. Because
Mm.
a long time ago, there was a game that they had not from what I remember, it wasn't like leaked content, but they had shown like very, very small snippets of future projects. And they had called it Project Renee.
Mm.
Um and people are thinking, "Oh my gosh, that might be The Sims 5." They're just not naming it that yet because they don't want us to
Mm.
know. But recently, The Sims and Genuity,
Ingenuity, probably.
yeah. Um, they changed the logo to The Sims. They changed the font. They changed how it's laid out. Um, and people are all over the place with it because some people are saying that like it's going to be the next generation of Sims. So like everything, it'll be like an umbrella term. Or they are trying to do that, but it's more of like a multi-platform type thing. So like they'll be like, this is The Sims, and then it'll be like Sims 2, Sims 3, Sims Mobile, like all the different consoles that you can play The Sims on.
Mm.
Um Someone talked about it here. Oh, here. It's like no one is considering the fact that it includes every Sims games, mobile, free play, only old Sim games, console Sim games. There's no one logo for that. So it's just The Sims. The Sims 4 is not the only Sims game you know. Skull
Right.
faced, which I think is really funny. Um yeah, people like let me bring this other tweet up because you talked about it a little bit. Um Seeing this float around, if it's real, another hunch of mine may be true. Next gen Sims will simply be called The Sims and available on all devices everywhere indefinitely, thus not needing a definitive as not to age it as it continues to grow and improving other decades plus. I don't know why people are so upset about it,
Mm.
but like I don't know. I don't mind the logo. I think the logo looks nice. I don't know if whatever surrounding the logo is just filler for right now. Um,
Right.
because that looks kind of stupid. I'll put the picture up, but the logo seems fine to me. The tilted E, eh, that might be a little dumb,
Mm.
but yeah. What are your thoughts on the
I
new
guess
logo?
as someone who's grown up with The Sims, like for
hmm
when they read the first game all the way to the end, I always did find it a bit ridiculous that it's like, let's just upgrade it, but then add extra things to it. Like obviously it make like it's the same base game, and it has evolved quite a bit from its earlier days, which would make sense. Like you compare, the first The Sims game to The Sims 4. Sorry, I had you on there. And the graphical and gameplay differences is so vastly different. But I don't know. I mean, I think people's theories are relatively on the nose. It wouldn't surprise me. I don't think it's necessarily something to be outraged about, though. Like the logo is fine. Like it's expressing The Sims, and if they decide to make it so that all games from the future are called The Sims, I don't think that's going to be an issue. Um,
Make it a
it
little
just means that
confusing.
a little bit, but I mean, same thing with like Genshin versions, for example. Like, you talk about Genshin Impact as a game, and it's the same game that's been for the last 3 years, but it's gone through different stages. So people who started playing Genshin Impact 2 years ago would look at the game now and be like, "Wow, this is very different," but it's still Genshin. Um, and they mark it based on version numbers. So like they could do something similar with The Sims, where they make it a real time updated game, and then you just have to kind of say, "Okay, here we go. Here's the kind of differences we need to make." And then we just kind of establish it based on versions. Or again, like Minecraft. Minecraft has been just called Minecraft the whole time we've known it to be in
Yeah,
the
but
same
have they
way.
ever done like a logo change?
I
I mean,
mean,
Mojang
Minecraft
has.
has.
Okay, I
They've
didn't know.
it's adjusted slightly, but like you think about like it's gotten reworked even in terms of like the icon. I remember when it used to be just a flat grass block. And now it's like a 3D one,
Oh,
and they've
okay.
adjusted like different parts of that
Ooh.
too, and the UI is adjusted a number of times. And so like I think it seems like a big deal when you say it's like, oh, it's a branding change.
Mhm.
Um, I
Well,
mean,
because
in
apparently
essence, it
they're gonna
is, but
do the plan is to do it for like everything. So like merch and like future projects and like the overhaul of the brand in itself,
yeah, no,
which is like
exactly.
really funny, which is like this is something that I said about like the pictures surrounding. Someone commented, as much as I do love the derpy bad graphics seagull, maybe don't put that on something to promote the game. Um and another comment I had here. Uh I hope this is not the new logo do franchise. It's kind of simple too much and nothing creative. Will be nice to see if they remake the classic logo. I'm honestly thinking that this is their remake of the classic logo.
hmm
Um and people are saying good for official merch, bad for existing unofficial merch. Um But yeah, someone says, I'm sick of The Sims 4 insistence on minimalism. Also, it's weird that the article refers to the brand as mischievous, as if the term means anything, especially since they tend to play it safe and go out of their way to avoid causing any major offense. And yeah,
Right.
people are upset about that, like, I don't know, the classic, oh, why are you rebranding? Work on the game. What are you doing?
Yeah.
We asked for new content. We asked for better content. We asked for like you to fix the game you currently have. Oh, but then they like sugarcoat it and like blanket it of like, we have a new logo, guys. Check it out.
Right.
Isn't it so cute? So I don't know. That's why I think people are like upset because they're like, ew, that's gonna be awful for merch. And I'd rather you just work on the game.
Mm.
So I don't know. I thought that like I just saw it like trending the other day, and I was like, "Oh, they remade the logo. Ooh,
Yeah.
it's not great. It's okay,
Right.
but it
That's
could be
right.
better."
Yeah.
So yeah.
I understand.
Oh, how are you making me yawn? What the heck?
Sorry, you're welcome. It happens. We're doing this a different time than usual, so I'm like tired for some reason.
I know. We do this like an hour later.
I know, but sometimes sometimes it's that midday jump of energy that's just not there right now.
mm,
Haven't hit it yet.
understandable.
Speaking of midday energy,
Mm-hmm.
something I added to the list, which I'll put some links in for this, so everyone who's going to see this after
Thanks.
the podcast recording. Mouse doesn't have any references to reference, but they totally announced the DLC for FNAF Security Breach. Finally,
Let's
after waiting for
go.
a very long time, Ruin is coming. It's going to be in July of this year.
That's so
We'll see if they keep to
soon.
that. But it's like, yeah, it's super soon. Like they are announcing it, and it's like it's right there. But it's incredibly hype for those who, oh goodness, are a fan of FNAF. And just been looking forward to this for a while. As someone who has peripherally been interested in FNAF because of just the different people
Mm-hmm.
I've worked with in the past and getting to
2
learn
weeks in
about
a
it.
row we're talking about FNAF. I
Yep,
am loving this
exactly. It's
completely.
amazing, right? Yeah, it's meant to be.
Uh-huh.
But I'm just excited because I streamed, played the first Security Breach, and I really enjoyed it. And so I'm absolutely positive that when Ruin comes out, it'll be me and Mousie in a call playing the game, and we'll see all the cool things it has to offer, and we'll be like, "This is amazing! It's so cool and fun." So I'm looking forward to that part of things at the very least. But it's definitely very exciting that they're finally having this come out because it's going to maybe be the year of FNAF at this point. They've got good stuff coming.
Ooh. Okay.
So we'll see. But yeah, but that was a cool little surprise thing that came at the end of last week that no one was expecting. And then suddenly it's like, here you go, DLC has been announced. You're welcome.
It's here.
Um, yep. So things to look forward to, and it'll be a little over a month from now at this point. So that'd be very exciting.
Nice. That is
Yeah.
exciting. I actually didn't mind Security Breach, and I thought, like, I personally thought all the glitches were really funny. But I understand people's
Yes.
gripes with it. They're like, you gotta finish the game. But it's like, why? Like, watching Freddy, like, run and get trapped in something is really funny.
Yes.
It
It is humorous.
is a funny moment.
It is tee ho ho ho
Tee
ha.
hee ho ho hee hee. All right. Well, we're gonna move on to the Should I Be Scolded segment. I've got 3 for you today. We can choose
Okay.
which one. There's one. There's 2 that are very long and one that is like a medium length. But I will read them to you. All right. Should I be scolded for asking my girlfriend who insists to live in an expensive place to pay more? Would I be scolded if I made my dogs the flower girl and my cat the ring bearer at my wedding instead of my rainbow baby niece and nephew? Or should I be scolded for telling my sister-in-law I will disown her if she gets pregnant?
Oh. Um, I mean, I guess the cat and dog one sounds very interesting, but I don't know if I want that one first or second. If we're doing 2, I might
Mm-hmm.
have that be like the second one we do.
Okay.
And then, oh man, that last one was like pretty, sounds exciting.
This one's one of the longer
Mm,
ones.
I
They've got an
guess,
update though, so that's why it's longer.
yeah. I mean, what do you prefer? Do you have a preference between
I
the
want
first
the
and third one you mentioned?
I want to hear the dog one, but if I don't know. First and third?
Between
No,
those 2,
I
because
don't.
I was saying dog cat one. I think we're both on the same page. Like, yeah, we
Yeah.
want to hear this one. So it's a matter of if we want to hear it first, or if we're doing 2. Should I be scolded? Having it be the second segment is what I'm getting at. Because I'm weird. I want to end on a good note, for sure.
um, I'm indifferent about either, if I'm being honest.
Okay, that's fine. Then let's go with you know what? Let's do with the fancy girl, the girl who wants to live in the fancy home. Let's
Okay.
choose that one.
All right. Should I be scolded for asking my girlfriend who insists to live in an expensive place to pay more? I need some advice here, and I wonder if I am unreasonable. I have been living in London for 7 years and completely hate it here. All this time, I've spent around 40 to 50% of my total income on rent. For the past 3 years, I worked hard to increase my salary and get a remote job, and now earn circa 40 to 42K. I come from nothing and don't even have a degree, so this is big for me. My partner recently changed job and now earns almost double what I earn. When we moved to our current place, which I did as a sacrifice for her because she really wants to stay in London for 1 more year, I told her that this is the last year that I will spend in London because I really hate the city. I'm not a city person at all. Sorry. Or at least not a big city person, but I stayed here because of her job commitments. I don't even leave the house because of how much I hate it, and for a long time I was severely depressed and gained 30 kilograms because of how much I ate. How much I hate it here. Okay, first of all, I don't think you gained weight because you hate it there. You gained weight because you were depressed, probably because you weren't eating, like, you weren't going outside. You said you work a remote job. I mean, I guess it's because you hate it. Anyway.
Mm.
We just had a discussion about moving to a nice 3-bedroom house about 1 hour, 25 minutes from my parents' place of work. No, not parents, partners. Partner's place of work. She only goes to the office twice a week and the rest is remote. The rent for the new place is $1,050 per month. That's in British pounds.
Mm.
So that's about $2,000 a month Canadian. Probably
Ooh.
around 18. But it's a 3-bedroom house.
Yeah.
That you're renting for 1,800. I pay 16
Right.
for a 1-bedroom townhouse. So versus our current price, which is about £2,100 in a very shitty area. The new place has 3 bedroom, 2 living rooms, and a garden, and is a house. However, she completely refuses to move outside of London, citing that the 1.5 hour commute, one train, 2 days a week is not worth it, and around £300 a month for commuting cost is not worth it. So, as a counter offer, because she is so insistent on staying in London, even though I hate it here, I am willing to sacrifice for another year or so. I asked her to pay a bit more rent instead of paying 50-50 to make it a little bit more bearable and allow me to save more instead of living paycheck to paycheck. Well, oh my god, I have so many thoughts about this.
Ah,
She's refusing this and made it to be all about the money now that she's doubled her salary. Am I unreasonable to think that she should pay a little bit more now that she has the means to? Aren't partners supposed to help each other if one is in a much better financial situation? I'm not asking for much more. I'm at most 10 to 15% more to help offset some of my costs. The job she just got is because I pushed her to get it. I did her CV, which I'm pretty sure CV is like her resume,
yeah, it's
and
a resume.
practice interviews practice interview questions with her. I even paid for all of our living expenses for almost 2 months while she was waiting for the new job. I didn't ask for any money back except for rent. She also owes me about £7,000 from when my side business did well. I forgave I forgave this loan because at the time she was broke. She's making it about money, which is unfair. What the fuck? What am I reading right now? Why is she not playing the same game and support me unconditionally as I have in the past? Am I the asshole for asking her to pay more if she's not willing to move somewhere cheaper? I have so many questions and thoughts, but I want to hear what you have to say first.
Okay. I mean, it's a situation like this. On the one hand, it's kind of like, okay, I understand if, you know, you're in a place that's more expensive than what you had initially anticipated or hoped to live in. Because that just happens. Standard of living gets adjusted way too much. And oftentimes, you go somewhere and you kind of have these expectations and sacrifices you're willing to make to live there. And so I get where this person's writing it. His stance and not wanting to necessarily pay as much. But I'm also of the opinion that when you make an agreement with someone you care about to want to do something like this, you've already invested that time and energy into being able to kind of, you've made that choice already. You've said, hey, I'm willing to dedicate this amount of money to doing this. Um, and so while it, would make sense that yes, she's making more money now, why wouldn't she pay more? At the same time, that's her choice, and she's clearly not offered that up as something she's interested in having happen, and so I think it's one of those things where I guess for me, I've come more of the stance of, like, I would just give an ultimatum and say it's like, unfortunately, I can't afford to have us live here if whatever. Um, so
Mm-hmm.
it seems like even then, it seems like it'd still be more of like a luxury than anything. If he's still making enough money to be able to pay for the rent and do at least the bare minimum of what he needs to accomplish, like, they're obviously getting by all right. It sounds more like it's a bit more based on maybe potentially the inner hatred he has for London and not wanting to be there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's kind of like that's more the vibe I get is that yes, she's making more money, but at the same time, she's not obligated to pay that for you to, pay more toward rent. Like there's no reason why she needs to, even if she's making more money. Um, I don't think it's necessarily wrong to ask her that, but it's wrong to expect that of her. Now that she's making more money,
Mm-hmm.
she should just pay you more straight up because it's like, no, she earned that. Like, even if you pushed her to get that job, she earned that job on her own. Like, that money that she's making is hers to choose what to spend it on. And while, yes, you both have made this commitment to pay for this place at the same time, like, if that's something you want to do, then maybe you need to reconsider the contract you have in a more depth. And if she's not willing to consider it, then you just need to go somewhere else. Or I don't know, again, maybe I'm more dramatic. I'm like, just go find a different partner. Go move on.
Yeah.
Live a different life. If she's not willing to compromise and make that choice for you and that's something you're stuck on, then I feel like there's gonna be a lot of other issues that might be permeating more.
Yeah. My biggest gripe was that in the beginning, in the beginning, in the beginning, it was about money. Then it was about the hatred for London. Then it was resentment towards the partner for helping them and making them end up making more money. Then it came back to money. Then it came back to I lost it. Where was it? Then it came back to why is she not supporting me the same way I supported her? So like
Right.
so you're asking, would I be the a-hole for asking my girlfriend who insists on living in an expensive place to pay more? With that statement alone, no, because you asking her is not gonna hurt, you know? Like, if you guys sit down and have a conversation and you, like, actually, I don't know, be adults or something, crazy thought, crazy idea. You be adults and sit down and go, here are all of our expenses. I barely have any money or spending money for myself because I'm paying for all these bills. And us going 50-50 is like really affecting me, and I also don't love living in the city. I want to make a compromise. If she's not willing to
Mhm.
compromise, then yeah, get the fuck get rid of her. I don't give a fuck. Like, but like you
Yeah.
can't, like you said, like you said, you can't expect that. You can only ask that of her. And it just feels, like I said, very resentful that like I don't know. There's a big expectation on her to show you love in the same way that you showed her love,
Mhm.
which is not fair. Um, but like I don't know. I don't think he's wrong for wanting to ask her, or they're wrong for wanting to ask her,
Yeah.
but like you said, the expectation to do it and then being like, why is she not playing the same game and supporting me unconditionally as I have in the past? You just sound whiny. Like, stop. Like, I hate London. I don't want to live here anymore. And if you want to live here, you have to pay more. It's just like
Exactly.
it just seems like so whiny.
Mm.
Uh, um, what is your what do you think that people voted?
You know what? I think we are in the right perspective here. And I am going to say, mm, for asking, if we're going off the question of what she's saying about if he should be scolded or not,
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to say that he's not, but I think they're going to say that he needs to get some relationship help for other stuff. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
that's I'm inclined to think maybe that would be the case.
Well, you would be correct. They said no one is the asshole.
Oh, okay.
So not even the girlfriend. Top comment is you aren't an asshole for asking her that, but at the same time, you aren't seeing the bigger problem. You hate London and she refuses to move out. You keep agreeing to 1 more year, but there is never going to come a time when she actually agrees to move. You are 100% incompatible and in a very, very major way. If you stay with her, you'll end up in London for the rest of your life. If you want out of London, you'll never be with her.
Ooh.
Yeah. And some people are saying like a 1.5 hour commute, that's nothing. I spend 3 hour commute, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, well maybe she's a little bit on the entitled side. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't
Could
know.
be.
They said, look, the rent is not the major issue here. The major issue is you want completely different lifestyles. Her paying more isn't going to make you hate London less. You guys moving out of this into the suburbs isn't going to make her happy there if she wants to be in London. Sort out your actual problems.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Oh, hey,
That's so
I'm
funny.
glad to know that they agree with us.
Yeah. The next one is, would I be the asshole? Would I be scolded if I made my dogs the flower girl and my cat the ring bearer at my wedding instead of my rainbow baby? Rainbow baby is in quotations, niece and
Mhm.
nephew. Context. My brother and my sister-in-law had a series of incredibly painful, both physical and emotionally, from what I've heard, miscarriages before they had my niece, Ava, and my nephew, Liam, 4-year-old twins, via IVF. As a result, my whole family, especially my sister-in-law, make a very big deal out of the twins, calling them rainbow babies, showering them with attention and affection, almost to the exclusion of the other grandkids. I've never really been involved with this, mostly due to the fact that I live across the country. Anyway, I'm getting married soon. I'm so excited, and my fiance and I have been diving into wedding planning. A conversation that my fiance and I had really was the matter of the flower girl and ring bearer. I brought up the idea of having our dog Mika and our cat Tibby fill the roles. Understand, Mika and Tibby are like children to us. They helped me through my deepest depression. I honestly think I wouldn't be here anymore if I didn't have to stick around to take care of them. They kept my fiance company when I was going through chemo. Oh shit. And
Oh.
I had to work double the hours to put food on the table. We love them to bits. And understand, and he was going through chemo. Sorry. They kept my fiance company when he was going through chemo. I read that as when she was going through chemo. That was my bad. And I had to work a double the hours to put food on the table. We love them to bits. We consider them family. My fiance thought it was a great idea, so that's what we decided to do. Anyway, I casually brought it up at a family get-together, and my sister-in-law took me aside later and asked why we gave Ava and Liam's roles to our animals. I was confused, and she explained that since Ava and Liam were her miracle rainbow babies, that obviously they should be the flower girl and ring bearer. She said that it would be good for the family, quote unquote, for the twins to be in the wedding, and that it's, quote unquote, against tradition to have animals in the wedding. She asked me to reconsider and showed me a picture of Ava in a flower girl dress to show me how cute it would be. I told her that I wouldn't make any decisions without my fiance's input. Then I changed the subject. I talked to my fiance about it, and he said he'd be fine with Ava and Liam taking the roles, but that he'd prefer our animals. I agreed that I would prefer our animals. However, I'm now wondering if maybe having our animals in the wedding would offend the family or go against tradition. Honestly, I'm fairly sure we'd not be doing anything wrong, but my mind has been spinning lately, so I'd figure I'd get some second opinions. What are your thoughts?
I guess in the short term, why care about babies when you can care about pets? I think that while yes, there might be some traditions that are broken, I do not think it's scoldable by any means.
No.
No, it's like that's your wedding. You can choose what you want. Weddings are not like, there used to be days where weddings were like social contract transactions where people would be like, oh yes, put my person in this place and we'll get married and then our families will come together and more powerful.
Yes,
Like it's
yes.
like this is what happening. It's they're having a happy wedding. They want to have their pets be in the wedding. I think that'd be the most adorable thing in the whole entire world. I would go to a wedding like that just to be able to see that happen.
I
Like
love
if my
videos of the
dog was still
dogs
alive,
walking
I would do
around.
that. Like if you
Yeah.
got married, like I feel like you would have Caramel be your ring bearer, and that'd be the most adorable thing in the whole entire
100%.
world. Like, why not? And so it's kind of like I don't know why it's even a question. I understand why, but I think it's very much like the is it sister, right? Sister to the
Yes,
or
sister-in-law.
yeah. So her sister-in-law, I think her sister-in-law is the one who needs to be scolded for even proposing the idea that they should be interposing their own desires onto their wedding. Like,
Yeah.
nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. No. Easy answer. No. That's that.
This might be a hot take on my part.
Mm-hmm.
I am very sorry to these people who went through many miscarriages. That is very, very hard, and I am very happy for them and excited for them that they were able to have twins of all after having many miscarriages.
Right.
But having a rainbow baby does not entitle you to anything that you want. I'm sorry. I'm a rainbow baby. Do you see me
Mm.
going around going, actually, I'm gonna be the ring bearer at your wedding.
All the
Sorry.
time.
My
All the
bad.
time.
Like,
All the time.
hello?
Leslie
Huh?
shows up at
Yeah.
recordings. It's just like, hello.
I'm
Hey,
the
can I
rainbow
just
baby.
I'm the rainbow baby.
I know it's not the kids, but like, that'd be like my mom doing that. And if my mom ever did that, I would punch her in the face.
As a baby, just be like,
Yeah. As I did when side tangent, I did when I was a toddler. I poked her in the eye and almost made her lose her eye. So,
that's hilarious.
yeah. No. I don't give a fuck about your rainbow babies and what you think they're entitled to. They're not entitled to anything. They're entitled to your love and affection and
Yes.
your money because you decided to have them. So your money is now their money in the next
Yes.
30 plus years of their life until they can support themselves financially. So the fact that you have the audacity to walk up to her and try and schmooze her over with some cute photos of what Ava would look like in a dress. I don't give a fuck. My cat would look just as cute in a dress. So shut your face.
Mm.
Yeah. The like, why did you give away Ava and Liam's roles? When were you going to tell me that you, the person not getting married, instilled these roles onto your own children?
Yeah.
When were you going to let me know that? Because I'm pretty sure it's my wedding, and I probably should be the one to know who's going to be my ring bearer and my flower girl, especially if you made that decision for me with your own kids.
Yeah.
That just sent me. Why did you give their roles away? Who said it was their roles? You? Your words have no hold here. But yeah. They got voted not the a-hole.
Yeah. They should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the top comment is, I may be the asshole for saying this, but those kids are their miracle babies, not yours. Your fur babies are your babies, so not the asshole. Let me see if I can find another one. That no. Someone said this is why we can't have nice things.
Yep. Makes sense.
Oh my god.
Curse you, miracle babies. Rainbow babies.
I find
Even
it
their fault.
creepy that the original Posters family is still talking about them being rainbow babies now that their kids are 4. They're going to ask what that term means. I think it would be messed up if someone told me I'm treated special because all my siblings died before me. What a top tier comment. Why is this not the top comment? I'm upvoting that. Hello? But anyway, that is so funny. People are stupid, but also really funny. So anyway, we're gonna move on to the Q&A. I didn't select any questions for us to metagame today. So
Fine.
Kano, if you would like to pick a question.
I would be honored. All right. Ooh. I'll pick this one because I know I've got a really nice answer for it. I think it's very simple. I'm not sure what your childhood cartoon experience was like, but between SpongeBob and Tom and Jerry, which one would you choose?
Oh God, I watched both. I whistled. I watched SpongeBob more than I watched Tom and Jerry though, so I probably would go with SpongeBob. SpongeBob's also like very memeable. Because the characters talk.
That is true. They do.
What about you?
Mine would be the very opposite because I didn't really watch much SpongeBob growing up. Because I was so terrified that my parents would not like me watching it, even though they could have cared
What?
less.
What was wrong with
Like
SpongeBob?
it was like I don't know. I think it's just the fact that everyone liked it so much, and it seemed like it was like, oh my goodness, it's so immature for me. A nice like
Mm.
8-year-old. Oh, SpongeBob is so beneath me. I'd rather watch Disney Channel. It's so better. Um,
SpongeBob
but
is
like,
literally beneath me.
but no, just because I had more experience watching Tom and Jerry, and I don't know. There was just something that was really unique to me as a kid. I watched it all the time on Boomerang, and I had all these Tom and Jerry DVDs of all like those cartoons, especially.
Hmm.
And I don't know. I really liked it. It was just humorous because it was. I liked the fact that they could do storytelling without having to have characters that talked. Um, like they had some people that would like talk occasionally, but the fact that like it was all just action based just seemed really cool. Which is very ironic because now it's the kind of content I create. Um, as a in my
Hmm.
job, I have to be someone who doesn't talk and I have to express things through action only. Um, but I don't know. I like Tom and Jerry. I think it's very iconic. But I do think in some ways the some parts of it, like they try to bring it back more often than it should, and it just leave it where it is. The cartoons they
Yeah.
made of it were really great. The style was really nice, but every time you try to reboot it and make it different, it just doesn't hit
Just
the
leave it
same
in the
ever.
past.
Yeah, leave it there. It'll be
Yep.
happier there. It'll be
Hmm.
wonderful. So
Agreed.
that's my stance on it.
Well, I'm gonna ask you a question. Kind of
Hmm.
philosophical. It's a two-parter.
Ooh.
Would you rather talk to your past self or your future self? And what would you tell yourself?
Ooh.
Big
I
questions. Big
guess.
thoughts.
Ooh. I think between those two, I would probably be more inclined to talk with. Mm. Oh, actually, it's a hard one. I thought about that. I was like, I had a good answer, and I was something like, oh, maybe not. But
Maybe
then also like,
not.
well, okay, so let me. I'll share my reflections, and I'll kind of give where I think I'd still feel this way, even if I'm like second guessing myself, because if I were to go talk to my future self,
Hmm.
I think I would learn a lot, and I'd be really curious to see where I go. Um, because it's something that'll be very new. Whereas with my past self, I already know everything I've experienced. At the same
Hmm.
time, there's this idea that my future self, I will eventually be. Like,
Hmm.
that's gonna get like there regardless. And it's funny because obviously there's been no way to be able to tell the future from a present standpoint. Um, like as a human being, you can't look into the future. We're not Raven Simone. We
Yeah.
can't like we can't. It's not possible. People try to make it happen. It just ain't. Um, and I'm okay with that. Like, and so like it's unlike like Star Wars. They was talking about it's like the future's always changing. It's like I mean kind of, but not really. Like like we there really is nothing there until we get there.
Hmm.
Whatever we get to at that point will be the future. And so it's kind of like
Whoa.
at the same time, with that in mind, it's like I'm gonna become my future self any day. Like that's gonna happen no matter what. So
Yeah.
any insights I have then, are they gonna be really that useful to me now when I know that I'm gonna get there eventually? On the other hand, my past self, if I'm talking to my past self, I get to remember thoughts and feelings that I had in the past that were useful. At the same time, I've also moved past those things, and so it's like, is it worth me getting a reflection from something, a part of myself that's already kind of moved on?
Hmm.
Um, so I feel like I've walked myself into a corner by doing that. That was my double check. My first inclination, and I guess what I'll stick with is my first inclination is I'd rather talk to my future self. I think, um,
Hmm.
because I would want to, like I'd want to be able to understand like where I got to how I got to where I did. Um, and also just if it's a telling myself something as compared to a like learning from them necessarily, I would want to reassure my future self, um, that no matter how far I go, I will still be the same person that I am. Um, and that, the ideals that I care about are going to transcend whatever circumstances I'm going through, which I guess would be the
Hmm.
same thing I probably would tell myself in the past. But at least for me, like, I also know that I went through my past without having had that told me. Like, Like, I don't need someone to go into my past and tell me those things because I've gone through it and I've lived through it and I've been okay.
Mhm.
Um, so I'd rather tell my future self, who I haven't had the chance to be yet, but that I will be one day, if that
That is
makes any
just
sense at all.
gone. Yeah, it does. It just went like in a
Yeah.
weird direction.
Yeah, you're welcome. You did say it was philosophical.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
brought the philosophy. You're welcome.
that's true.
What about you, Mousy? Would you rather
Oh,
talk to your past or present or future self, and what would you tell yourself?
every time we say future self, all I can think of is like Alfie Day's like clothing company.
Future self.
Future self, future self. Um, but honestly, I have the same opinion of you of like we will be our future selves. Like whatever we do now will make the future self.
Mm,
Um, but I'm also superstitious and also think about how there could be different timelines and different universes that we all like exist on and all that stuff, and like this is just the one that I'm currently in. But honestly, I would want to talk to my past self.
mm,
Um under the assumption that has been made by movies and media that if you go back in time and you change something, it'll affect the future. So I don't know. This is really it's really meta. It's so meta. Unbelievably so. But depending on when I go back in time, I would tell I would tell myself about any future like losses and people to avoid and um like to stick with a creative outlet and potentially even go into something. It doesn't have to be like what I'm doing now of content creation, but like to really drive towards like a creative future
mm,
um for myself. And like to still work at certain places and get certain experience or whatever, but like save myself the hassle of shitty people or shitty situations, like that kind of thing. Like, I probably, I don't know, I would like tell them about like my ex and like how well they treated that, like my past self, or they're gonna treat me. I don't know, it's getting really, really weird. But
mm.
like how they, if I stick with them, this is how they will treat you. And it'll raise your bar, but at the same time, it'll fuck you up. So like know that your bar should be really, really high and don't settle for them, that kind of thing. Like, I don't know. There's just like too many things in my life that I've, I don't necessarily regret, but I'm like, oh, if I hadn't done that, things may have worked out better for me in the end.
Mm,
They didn't, and I gotta live with it now, and it's an experience, and it's a learning thing. Learning, I don't know the word I'm looking for.
right.
Opportunity, experience, learning experience.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. I'd also like, it's really weird. I thought about it 1,000 times. My like aunt and my dad both died from like health things. So
Mm,
like if I could go back and be like, "Hey, hey dad, you should probably go get your heart checked. You should start
mm,
taking medication for your heart. You should be less stressful because you may die soon." And I feel just that thought alone, just that one change, that one ripple in time could literally change the entire course of my life.
right.
Because if my dad was still alive, my mom wouldn't have come back from where she was living. And although I love my mom and I love having her in my life, I would have loved to have her in my life in a different way.
Mm.
Um, because that started a downhill of my life of living in low end places, low end to the point of living in a trailer for 2 years, never having enough money, always like eating like very, very badly, moving around to different schools, meeting people, meeting new friend groups that I couldn't really put my time and energy to, or that I did put my time and energy to into that ended up fucking me over. And if to think that if my dad was still alive, I probably would have never switched schools. I never would have met my ex. I never would have like dealt with any of that shit. I probably would have still dealt with like a lot of bullying because I would have still been with those people. But
Mhm.
like knowing that information, I could be like, oh, I want to go to a different school and have a different opportunity. But like my dad would still be alive and I wouldn't have met the people that I had. And a part of me is like, wow, that's great. And then a part of me is like, no, that's shit because your current friends you wouldn't have.
Mm.
And it's just like this weird thing of like, oh, I would love to change that, but it would change how my life is now. And there's parts of
Right.
my life and people in my life that I love having. And would they cease to exist? Would I know about them? Should I search them out? How would that conversation go? Hey, by the way, Daniel, we're best friends. We'll get
Like,
along great. You want to be my friend?
I'll
Great.
be like,
Cool. Who are
to
you?
to be honest, if it was actually coming from a random point, I think I'd probably at first think you were like someone who was being like attacked or being stalked by someone, and I'd like temporarily agree with you, and then be like, "Are you sure you're okay? Like, do you need some help?"
Well, it wouldn't be like an in-person thing. I mean like
If I get
finding
a
like
random DM from you, yeah, that would be a little bit like I'd probably like
yeah.
talk with my mom about it and be like, "Mom, this random girl named Mousie,
Message me. Who the
she's
fuck is she?
I have no idea what is happening. What's going on? What should I
Like I'd
say?"
have
And she'd be like, "Oh, you could play along." Or no, I don't know.
No, I just think it's funny because like I'd have to like put on like Lauren's notifications and like make sure that I had like I don't know, I'd do like similar things. Like I'd have to like I don't know, meet similar people, have similar experiences because like again, if I never worked for Newscape and then met Josh, aka Bert dude, I would have
Yeah,
never been like I wouldn't have a following. I wouldn't be suggested for Lauren's stuff. I wouldn't have gotten a vouch from Josh to get into Lauren's stuff, which then means I wouldn't have met Lauren, Ash, you, Seth. Like now, like all these other people, Katie, Ariel, Aaron,
yeah,
like all these people, I would not have met in this like community content community space, as well as friends outside of that, like Fang, Rachel, Gabe, like Max. Like the list goes on and on. Like I would not have met all these like really cool people
right.
if my life didn't play out the same. But I'd probably just talk to my past self and be like, hey, be careful of these people specifically. Your life is gonna be shit if you continue, or like if you
Right.
go down the same path or whatever. I don't know.
Yes.
That's my long-winded tangent about that.
Hey.
Yay! All right, Kano, pick another question before I keep talking
Okay.
about
All
this.
right. You're good. All right. Then you know what, this one. I know this question has been around for a little bit. And I think it's kind of funny. I think it's a funny note to end on. So
Oh.
you and I both
Mhm.
have a lovely mutual friend
Mhm.
named Sydney,
Mhm.
and she asked this question
Yeah.
a bit ago, saying, "How much difference would your life have been if I wasn't ever part of it?" Which,
If
kudos to Sydney.
me.
Just gotta
Yeah.
say, I want to respond to this one
She's
because I
got
think it's also
some photos on
we
her.
went to the little philosophical point, and so I'll put it down because we just presented this idea of what would happen if life would be
Yeah.
different. Um, and I can honestly say that my life would be very different if I didn't know you.
Mhm.
There are a lot of pieces of kind of living that my existence would feel very different. Um, I certainly wouldn't have as wonderful an opinion of volunteer workers if it weren't for you. because you invest a lot of energy into every project you do, and you never ask for anything in return from anybody else. Um, and I have a big admiration of that for you. So if I didn't know about you, I would not feel that way about everyone else who has a lot of other expectations. Um, and I certainly wouldn't have as many memories when it comes to this space if I didn't know you. And so, yeah, I think
Mhm.
while I probably like certain parts of like the trajectory of my life probably wouldn't be terribly different,
Mhm.
because I mean, even like, and this is again no offense, it's more just based on proximity of people. Like if I didn't know Mousy, there would be
Mhm.
more significant pieces of my life that would be different because of how closely we work together on so many things and the investment we've made into each other's lives.
Mhm.
Um, like we'd have similar things that we'd probably like on my end, there'd be similar things because I met you at a different stage of my life.
Mhm.
Um, but like it would be different. Whereas in Sydney, it's like I've known you for longer in some ways and in a scope of different projects, but at the same time we don't talk as regularly. But in terms of that, it would my life would be different without you. And I certainly am glad I don't have to think about that. What about you, Mousy?
I concur or agree. I think concur. I don't know. Um, I agree on the sense of my life would be slightly different, not substantially, because they are not someone that I talk to on a regular basis. I definitely know that if if I hadn't met them and I hadn't helped them, or sorry, if they hadn't helped me, apologies,
Mm.
um, and they hadn't helped out because I haven't known them longer than Eden, so if they
Mm.
hadn't helped out with like Eden, I know like the trajectory of literally everyone's content would be different, and like Eden probably would have played out a little bit differently as well, which I think is really
Hmm.
weird to think about. Um but I think it would definitely change, and there would be a notice of change of like this upbeat, happy, very kind and caring person is no longer bringing that. I want to say sparkle, but I don't want to like sound stupid. Bring this
I think you can use that in
sparkle.
context with Sydney. Sydney would
Yeah,
appreciate
Sydney's
you
very
being.
sparkly, and I feel like you would notice the absence of that very much so. And yeah, if there was a little less sparkle within my streams or Eden or just on a random occasion, really,
Yeah.
I think I would notice it, and it would suck. So yeah, I don't
So
know.
yeah.
Sorry, that's not just a vice answer, Sydney. And you better be listening, because what the hell? Ask a question,
Exactly.
then you don't listen to the answer.
If not,
Anyway,
if any of you know Sydney, just tell her we said this.
that's true. Yeah.
Since she's the one who asked the question.
We
So
talked
that's
about you
on
in
her.
today's podcast. You
We
better
talk
be
about you,
there.
Sydney.
But that concludes our Q&A section. We're going to move on to the game. But before we do,
Hmm.
make sure that you let us know either in the comments, in our Discords, or on Twitter over at Grandparents Pod about your thoughts and feelings and opinions on anything that we talked about during tea time, Should I Be
Hmm.
Scolded, or Q&A. And let us know what your answers may have been if you were a guest on the show. Yeah, I will hand that over to Kano for the game.
Beautiful. All right. Well, today
Passing the
I felt like going
script.
back to the basics for today's
Did you hear what
game.
I just said? I was like, let me just fix the script. This is not scripted, by the way. I had to fix the document, is what I tried to say.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
We don't script these episodes, trust me.
No, we don't.
Please,
Believe
please.
me. Yeah. It's like, of course we do not. Yes, yes, that's very
Yes,
true.
yes, of course. No, what line?
So the people in the teleprompter be like,
I gotta get the line ready.
I heard the keyboard.
Literally me in college. Keep scrolling, keep scrolling. Anyway,
But
Continue.
anyways, yes. So,
Apologies.
so today, I wanted to go back to the first game that we started with because I love it and it's fun, and I think it's fresh and there's always new characters again adding in. This one won't in particular. Well, maybe it will, but I won't say. It probably doesn't though. Involve any of the new characters lately, but um, there's this game Mousy and I really like called Genshin Impact. Some people love
Wow.
it, some people hate it. Um,
I've not
that
played
we
it in a
know.
hot minute.
And
I need to.
but one of the coolest things about Genshin Impact for me is that there's a really well developed cast of characters you can play the game with who are really lovable and enjoyable to play along
Mhm.
with. And each of them has really unique voice lines you can listen to as part of their profile page. And not everyone does, but I personally love to look at the voice lines. And so even though I've not always had a chance to listen to every single one of them based on what characters I have, I've listened to many of them. And so when I think of some really fun ones that I enjoy, or I find a really cool Wikipedia page that has all of the lines listed, I can go through and I can say, hey, these are cool lines. And so today we're going through 5 different quotes that different Genshin characters have said. I'll read the quote out once or twice, and Mousie's objective is to try and guess which character from the cast has said this line. She can ask for it one easy hint, and it'll be no problem. I can help to define some things out, and then from there, it's up to Mousie to figure out who this character
Woo.
is. So let's start off with our very first line from the game.
I'm so excited to play this game based off of Gabe's favorite game.
Exactly, right? He loves this. All right. First line.
Mhm.
Relationships are quite troublesome. Once you establish a relationship with someone, you must continue to maintain it. If you lose contact, you must reestablish the relation. This taxing cycle requires a lot of time. That's the line.
Mm, mm, mm.
I can read it again if you want extra insight and time.
I have a guess, but I want to still take my hint just to confirm it or not. What is this person's vision?
Vision is Geo.
Oh! Okay, then it's not who I was thinking of. Okay. Must continue to maintain it. If you lose contact, you must reestablish the relation. This taxing cycle requires a lot of time. Who the heck would say this? You laughing? Is it? It better not be. Is it GeoDaddy? No, because he loves
I won't
making
go.
like friendships and stuff like that. I don't know. He's a because we've done Ningguang before. I'm trying to think of all the Geo characters. Not Ito. And my thoughts are Ningguang or Zhongli.
Would it be helpful if I listed out all the Geo characters for you?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll give you that one last hint because I don't want you to not guess it just because you aren't
I can
thinking of the
Google it. Am I
character.
allowed to Google the Geo characters? Because I can do it myself.
I mean, if you want, but I also don't mind reading it out just to make it more fun, just in
Sure.
case it doesn't spoil things too much. All right. The Geo characters from Genshin Impact in alphabetical order are Albedo, Arataki Ito, Goro, Ningguang, Noel, Yunjin, and Zhongli.
I'm gonna say it's Albedo.
All right. Well, you would indeed be correct. It is Albedo.
Crazy, because I was originally gonna say Ningguang. And forgot Albedo existed. It's funny because when I Google Geo characters, it
Yeah.
has Zhongli, Traveler, Albedo, Yunjin, Arataki Ito, Ningguang, Goru and Morax. No
That's funny.
spoilers here.
No,
I
I know what
didn't
I'm
know
talking about.
Morax was a playable character.
I don't even know who you're talking about. You know?
Who's that?
Who's
Anyway.
that?
Ooh,
Yes. Right. Nice. You got the first one right.
yay!
Yay! Achievements are
Woo!
happening here today. All right. Line number 2.
Okay.
Okay. Since I found something I like and that I'm good at, I think I should try and stick with it. Even if the jury is difficult, even if the competition is fierce, even if there's no guarantee I'll graduate, and even if I have to return all my scholarships if I fail my final exams. Huh. Maybe I should just drop out and go back home.
Um, who goes to school out of the characters? That's what I'm thinking about.
Mm.
The way you said it makes me think it's Layla, but I'm gonna ask for a hint. You can tell me their vision or their region. I don't care.
All right. Just because I think I'll make it more difficult and I think it's more fun. I'm going to tell you that they're from Sumeru.
I'm gonna say Layla.
Okay. You would indeed be correct.
Let's
This is indeed
go! Thanks for saying it the way that she would say it too. Since I found something I like.
I don't know. I missed doing the voice acting for the lines. I know it gives a really obvious hint, but it's just more fun to say the lines like the characters.
Yeah,
It's
I agree.
it's part of the fun.
She's sleepy girl. I'm
Um,
trying to build her actually. Because I'm
she's
like,
a
oh,
fun
if I
one.
take Zhongli off my team and Chungyun and I put a cryo on my team with a shield, then I could put something else on my team to like swirl with Zhongli. Or with
Ooh,
Zhao, sorry.
true.
So
That you can. I understand. Um, but yeah. Okay. All right. Line number 4. Hey, thanks for going and gathering all those materials
you
for
skip
me.
one. You
Oh,
didn't do
you're right. I
3
did.
yet.
Never mind. It's fine. The 4. Anyway, we're gonna do 4 first.
Okay.
Because I already started.
Sorry.
Hey, thanks for going and gathering all those materials for me. I would have gone myself, but I probably would have got about halfway before falling asleep.
My first instinct is Sayu. But there's other sleepy characters. Who are other sleep? There's Layla. There's Sayu. Sayu, or however you pronounce her name. There's. Ooh, hold on. My brain's got to do the thinky thunk. No, they have to be the only other sleepy character. I'm gonna say Sayu.
All right. You would indeed be correct.
Let's go! 3 out of 3, baby!
Didn't even need a vision
I
hint. You just
won.
got
I
them right
didn't
away.
need a hint.
Yeah,
Well,
it
you
worked out pretty well.
saying it in their voice is technically a hint.
I guess that's fair. But it's more fun for me, so that's why I'm gonna keep doing it no matter what. Um okay, all right. I'll go back to 3 now. So Mousie's currently 3 out of 3.
Let's
As I'll have
go.
you all know.
I've already won.
No. All right. You don't always know why good things happen or why we should be happy about them. But if you ever face a problem too big to handle, don't give up hope. You never know. Someone may be there to help, even if you can't see them.
I read that as don't give up ho. Like, don't give up ho.
Don't give up hope.
Oh God. This one I have no idea.
You're welcome.
You never know. Someone may be there to help even if you can't see them.
Do you need me to read it again?
I mean, unless you want to.
No, I don't have to. It's fine.
I will take a hint though.
Okay, do you have a preference as to which hint you get?
No.
Okay. Then I will say that this person's vision is Ryo.
Oh. Mm. I'm Googling list of cryo characters.
I can just read it for you again if you want.
Sure.
All right. List of cryo characters. We have. There's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Aloy, Chongyun, Diona, Eula, Ganyu, Kaya, Kamisato Ayaka, Layla, Mika, Chi-Chi, Rosaria, Shenhe.
Oh. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Rosaria.
Okay.
I feel like we haven't had her before. And that's the only thing that I am basing my judgment on.
Wow. Great. That's
Yep.
amazing
Yep.
deduction. I mean, it may.
Wait, no, doesn't Shenhe go invisible? Hold on. No, I said Rosaria already. That's fine. That's Rosaria's my answer. That's what I said.
All right. Well, you are indeed correct, even if your logic is flawed.
What? Oh, okay.
No, you're right. You're right. It's Rosaria because she's a creepy stalker lady. Remember, she sneaks around and she watches you from afar to save you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
She's
but
like a
then
vigilante.
at the very end there, I was like, wait, like yeah, like Shenhe when she like ults, she gets like a duplicate, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, she goes invisible. Like maybe that's what they're referring to.
Yeah. I do think it's funny. You're just like, we haven't had Rosaria yet. Maybe it's her. They're not entirely wrong about that.
It
assessment.
worked out.
It did.
Okay, last one.
All right. Well, this one I think should be the funnest one. It's the hardest one in my opinion, unless you know this character really well.
Funnest.
All right.
Did Kano just say something grammatically incorrect?
Yes, I did. I'm an English major. I have the permission.
Aha.
All right. Someone once told me you're supposed to eat a cake on your birthday. Ta-da! Here's your birthday cake. It's apple flavored. And here's a spoon. The cake didn't rise properly in the oven. That's why it looks more akin to an apple pie. Ugh. Baking is really quite complicated.
I'm just laughing at the fact that they're like, yeah, I made you an apple cake, but it looks like an apple pie. Baking is really quite complicated. Oh, God. I thought that, like, maybe it might be, like, Klee, but I was like, I don't think Klee's gonna say, it looks more akin to an apple pie. Like, I don't think that she'd say something like that. I don't think that's the type of terminology that she uses. I think she's like, it looks like an apple pie.
It looks akin to an apple pie.
It goes boom.
The square of the hypotenuse is 25.
Is reporting for duty.
Yep.
Anyway. What? Okay. Here's your birthday cake. It's apple flavored. Here's a spoon. Take a cake and rise properly. Birthday lines are hard because, like, literally anyone can say them. But
sometimes some of them are really
bake
specific.
them?
I will say, like, Raiden Shogun's birthday line is like,
well, it's your day of construction. Or your day of birth, or whatever the fuck she says.
No, you're right. Which is, I think it's funny. That's why I didn't worry about saying hers. Is this one because I was like, you're probably not going to guess it's her, even though she's the whole like being bad at cooking thing. You've also already done her birthday line in the past.
I did. That's why I know it.
Look at that, Mousie's learning things. And who's afraid of pumpkins?
Lisa.
Yeah. Look at that. Mousie's learning.
Because why would the witch not be afraid of pumpkins, right?
Exactly. I feel like Mousie's just one day gonna be dressed in pumpkin and be like, "Hey, Lisa, it's me. I'm a pumpkin."
No, I want her to like me.
You'll be the anti-pumpkin.
I will be.
Your Halloween's just you dressed up in an outfit with an axe and you're just cutting pumpkins, and that's what you're like
Got a wife
Flirting with
beater on.
Lisa on
Hey,
Halloween.
Lisa. I'm glad I got a belly laugh out of you. That's when you know. That's when you know. I don't know what the fuck this is. I really don't. I'm thinking it's Xing.
Do you want to help? Do you want to
Yes,
hint?
give me a hint, please.
Okay. You prefer a vision or a region?
I don't care.
Okay. Here, I'll give you region. It's Mondstadt.
What the fuck? That doesn't help me at all.
Maybe it is
Okay.
clay. Maybe it's this whole time, but
It's clay. It looked more akin to an apple pie. Oh my god. No, now I'm thinking it's Amber now. My guess is Amber.
all right. That's
If
your final
it's
answer.
D-Luke, I'm gonna cry.
No.
I will furiously sob.
Unfortunately, it's not Amber. You want to know who it is, though?
Is it Kaya?
No.
Who is it?
Venti's.
What?
Mm-hmm. This
He
is
tries-
Venti's birthday line.
Oh. Someone once told me you're supposed to eat a cake on your birthday. Ta-da!
Exactly.
No, I'm waiting for a really unhinged Kaya line one of these days. I just
Like,
I don't
I don't
know,
even know what
something that he
let's
would
hear it.
never say, but he's just
Let me
so
see if I can find a
sassy
good
like
example. Can
No,
do
no, no.
Fake
we'll
bonus. It'll be a reverse bonus question.
No,
We'll
you can
see what
save it for
Kaya
next
says.
time.
But I'm curious now. I want to see what he says. Let's find something really sussy. Sussy Kaya lines. This is the bonus one here.
Sussy Kaya lines. But now I know who says it.
No, you don't. Not yet.
We're looking for Kaya.
I'm just curious if there's anything he uniquely says. Oh yeah, I guess I'll leave that one for later.
Oh my gosh.
We could do. Oh, here we could do his essential. Well, actually, no, his essential one's pretty sweet. He doesn't really have many sussy lines.
Oh, man.
Oh, he does have his favorite food line, which relates to the fun part about his favorite food and their favorite food lines is that it relates to D-Luke's, because Kaya likes what he likes, but then it's D-Luke's least favorite food, and then Kaya's favorite food, like, it's swapped.
They're opposite. Yeah. Because they're brothers, but they hate each other.
Exactly. But Kaya's least favorite food literally is, I can't believe that some people actually drink grape juice. If they had a little more patience, they would find that it ferments into the most exquisite wine. So unromantic. And that's his line.
Which I think is really funny because he's talking about D-Luke, who owns a winery.
Uh-huh.
So he understands that fermenting it will make wine, but he just doesn't like wine. He likes grape juice.
Grape juice.
He's allowed to like grape juice.
Exactly.
Well, I got 4 out of 5. That's not too bad.
Pretty good, I'd say.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, that's our games. So if you guys have any suggestions for games, I'm still waiting to hear some suggestions at some point in time, and I'd love to know what games you want to play. For sure. But otherwise, we'll just keep talking about Genshin voice lines.
Tweet
It's gonna be great.
us or let us know in the Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this has been the Grandparents Podcast. As a reminder, Kano will be gone for the next 2 weeks, so I know we just came back from a 2-week hiatus, but unfortunately we have to go on another one.
Eventually, unless Mousie starts to surprise you guys with special edition episodes with guest stars. Who knows?
Not spoil anything or promise
Then
anything.
Mousie cut that out of the footage, and then she doesn't want it in there.
I probably won't because I'm lazy, but but as a reminder, this episode, if you're listening to it on Podbean, thanks. It might not be out on YouTube, and sorry, I'm busy. But again, if you want to let us know about anything that we talked about today, your opinions, thoughts, answers to the Q&A segment, and how you did on the quiz, you can let us know in the Discord. You can tweet us. You can leave a comment. Or you can let us know in either of our next streams, whenever that may be. If you're listening, Kano's probably not for a while. Me, we'll just one day.
Yes.
Kano, do you have any final words?
Other than just all y'all are pretty special.
Yeah.
And never forget.
Y'all are cool. Be good people, do good things, and we will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.
Bye.